Here at Sweetwater, and I'm going to talk to you about this tasty treat right here. This is the whiskey barrel Andy Wood model with humbuckers and a tremolo. And the reason I specify that is it's also available in a hardtail with single coils. But we're going to be talking about the humbucker model today, and this specific guitar is really important to me as it is my #1 out of all of my arsenal of weaponry. This is my top choice. And it's been toured. This thing has some high mileage on it, and it's been really played. So if you're looking at it and you're wondering why the pickups are so weathered, it's because there's a lot of sweat and power and magic and audience love that's been poured into this thing. This is the mainstay of my sound. It's a swamp ash body with a maple neck, dating all the way back to the 50s with Leo and what he did and the evolution. And I think that's the right word to take away with this is evolution, because as a guy that grew up in Tennessee, I grew up playing a lot of tellies. Traditional tellies always have this big blocky heel joint. But for me, when John Suhr introduced the Suhr Modern, I started playing those guitars and I fell in love with the heel joint. And I was like, what if, like what if we could take that perfect heel joint and marry it to the T-style Nashville thing? That's where this thing ended up. Now, this is not the original prototype of the model, but this is my main guitar, and I'll show you that heel joint. This is what makes this guitar special to me, is the fact that this is carved out nice and neat, and this was something that was my brainchild, and I took to the Suhr guys and said, hey, can we, should we? And so they fabricated one. And the thing that makes this really great, it's less about playing high E and it's more about just how comfortable it is playing in E, F, G, F sharp, even A. Like when I'm playing in A, my hand is never hitting the back. It's never hitting the heel joint, which is just, it's a little more ergonomic. I'm a mandolin player first and foremost. I wanted to marry that to the guitar sound that I love. So the next evolution is like, well, what do you do with the neck pickup? I know people are gonna be in the comments going, it's 24 frets, the neck pickup's not in the right spot. So what we did is we put the neck pickup right up against the fretboard. Or even like the jazz bow kind of thing. And so with that neck pickup placement, I feel like we keep the things that make the humbucker in a telly. That thing's been around since the 50s. That's a really important sound to the spirit of classic electric guitar, at least in my opinion, my humble opinion. And so I wanted to keep that pure while adding the more ergonomic heel joint. Now, since we're on the topic of pickups, my electronics is something that I concocted and it works really well for what I do. A lot of times working with artists like Gary LeVox or Rascal Flatts or even metal scenarios, I need to get a lot of sounds in one song. Typically in a session environment, you're gonna have a row of guitars and you can start and stop whenever you want. Oftentimes I need a chorus or a verse sound that may be something akin to this. And I may have another sound in the same song that may be like. And then I've got to get to a solo. So for me, this guitar is really about being able to do everything in one song. And so with the switching system, I'll just stay on my clean channel for argument's sake and walk you through the switching system. So we've already heard the neck pickup, but it sounds like this one more time. The next selection will be just the neckmost coil of the neck humbucker. And this is to kind of fake the classic S thing. Now we're gonna have the two humbuckers on just kind of jangly, classic kind of dual humbucker sound. Next up is one of my favorite sounds. It kind of emulates the quacky out of phase thing, and it's the two inside coils. Now, this is a sound that I would use a lot with some chorus or pitch shift or anything like that to kind of fake out that Landau-y, Dan Huff water kind of sound. So I'll give it to you without the sauce first, and then I'll add the sauce and show you what I'm talking about. And now just for fun, let's hear it with some of that chorus on there and that water kind of sound. Now the back humbucker has a push-pull on the tone. This is not splitting it, it's actually putting it series parallel. Kind of gets me closer to that Brent Mason-y thing, even though I am using a humbucker. So I'll give it to you without it and then with it, right? Now going back down. There you have the switching system. To hit some other specs, 16-inch radius, more just because it feels like a mandolin under my fingers, which is flat. But I'm sure a lot of you super shredders, Sean Lane worshipers, you're gonna find it really comfortable because it's nice and flat. Locking tuners, this one has the old Goto 510. And I say that because Suhr has a brand new tremolo system that they've developed that's really great. It's actually on the 10-year anniversary models of mine. This guitar is just old. You know, she's old and she's loved, so she's got the old 510 on it. The new ones have the new Suhr tremolo, which is awesome. They are both recessed, so that means, you know, you can use the bar to go. I like it to pull up about a minor third for me. So if we hit this. You can do some Van Halen-y things if you want. Let's talk about this finish real quick before we wrap it up. This is no paint, which is kind of fun. With a signature model, I wanted it to not be so signature that nobody else could play it. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want katanas or flames or something on it to where it was like it just looked like me all the time. And being from Tennessee, obviously, you know, we're known for distilleries and whatnot. So with this finish, they just take a torch and they lightly take that top layer of skin off the swamp ash. As it does that, it gives it this chocolatey kind of flavor. As if you see like, let's say 5 or 6 of these Andy Wood whiskey barrels next to each other, they're all gonna be different just by the nature of fire. Some will be dark in other places. And I actually think that's really cool because it allows you guys to have your own guitar, even though it's a signature model from me. Like they're all different. To me, it's all about the weight and the balance and the tone. You'll notice with no paint, there'll be a lot of just natural resonance in the guitar. And that's some feedback that we get quite often is just how alive and lively the guitar feels is because there's literally no paint on it. That is the Andy Wood Whiskey Barrel Modern T from Suhr. I'm glad you guys like it. I love it. Helps me play guitar and make music and take my mind off of the gear aspect. All these little details just make playing guitar a little bit easier. If you want to get a hold of one of these bad boys, reach out to your sales engineer and they will hook you up. They got what you need. So hit them up at Sweetwater. I'll see you guys soon.